Hi, do you remember me? Lose it forever and then forever not see me like forever. Okay, so um, the thing is that in 2012, the company I work for decided that everybody could work from home, which was great. It is great. The thing is, though, is that another thing that's actually great is you don't have to wear makeup every day when you go out. Not that everybody needs to wear makeup every day, but I choose to wear makeup normally when I go out in public. Um, but now that I work from home, I try to spare my face from makeup as much as I can, uh, unless I am going to go out. And then even when I go out during the day, if I can just get away with just throwing some sunglasses on, I do that too. Again, to try to just save the skin on my face from having so much manipulation going on. So, long story short, I don't like to do my vlogs unless I at least look halfway decent. I don't want to scare anybody. So it seemed like, day after day I would think, oh, I really should update everybody going on what's happening with me. And then I don't, because I didn't get done up. And then one of the times I did get done up, I was going somewhere with my family. Um, so again, this is going to end up being a long vlog since I haven't vlogged in a long time. So whoever's not going to want to dial in for all this, I apologize now, but I'll let you know. I kind of want to get you dialed up to speed. So here's a few things. I'm going to just try to compactualize this. Um, I didn't do HCG probably, and still maintained relatively well, probably for at least a couple of years plus. And then I did the absolute cardinal sin of maintenance, at least for me. Everybody is different, but this is how I feel my rule has to be: is that unless you know you're absolutely positively eating clean, um, you best hit your scale every day to make sure you kind of keep yourself in check. Because, and it's funny, I reread Pounds and Inches, and guess what? Dr. Simeon said the same thing, that a few pounds can creep up when you're wearing your regular clothes, and as long as you're fitting your clothes, you're thinking, well, I'm fitting my clothes, I'm doing just fine. Maybe not so much. So, between not following my cardinal rule of making sure that I weigh, and then just becoming like ostrich in the sand, burying my head, not wanting to weigh when I knew for sure I was basically kind of circumventing wearing jeans and wearing yoga pants for the most part, which is another downward situation when it comes to being able to work from home. You can wear your yoga pants every day, which is really nice and comfy, but again, not restrictive. So you're not feeling the change of things getting tighter, which is not good too. So as time went on, things crept up, and then lo and behold, here we are in 2015. I'm really trying to like fast forward a lot of life changes. I lost one of my puppies that I used to hold I actually have lost two technically. Of course, the Palm passed, but I was still doing vlogs at the time. And then unfortunately, our Shih Tzu passed away, though she did have a good long life. As any pet lover knows, when you own a pet, they're not just a pet that you own, they're your family. So when you lose them, you go through a grieving process, which we did with Moppet. So we went through that last June, and that was rough. So, everybody has their life changes, life situations, things that just cause stuff. And that's what was happening with me. So, anyway, again, like, I'm sorry, I keep, but April 6th, I decided I was going to go ahead and go back on HCG for an actual bona fide round. And I was astonished that I had actually let myself creep back up into the 140s. Those of you that are on your journey now, and let's say 140s is your goal, please don't feel like I'm smacking anyone that's in the 140s. It all is based on where you are and where you have been and a whole lot of other situations in your life. For me, personally, I had stayed in the 120s, in and around, maybe crept a little bit into the 130s, like 130, 131, 32, maybe. And even then, to me, that was crisis mode normally in my maintenance journey. But like I said, I just basically let a lot of things slide that I should not have let slide. So, hitting, suddenly going on the scale and having to be in the harsh reality that I had let myself get 20 pounds plus from what would maintenance be for me completely just, floored me, obviously. And I also knew, based on past understanding, that I had allowed abnormal fat to occupy my body once again. And it wasn't just normal fat that I could just, eat clean and get rid of. So I knew that, HCG was my hero, my hero for the time. So I started my round, and so I knew I was eating clean. I also knew that I needed to accomplish doing a physical for, you know how in the insurance companies now, like if you do certain things, they give you credits towards your deductible. So I had to do a physical. So I knew I was eating clean. Well, one thing I did, and I still am not sure if it was that or something else, and I'll try to explain that too in this. This is going to be very compactualized, but a lot of different types of information based on things if you've watched any of my old blogs. I did a McNut fast a couple days prior to my physical. So after my physical, the doctor like calls me up and she's like completely like freaked out, astounded, because she said all my numbers look great, all my tests look great, my weight was great, my waist was great in their terms. For me personally, I still felt that I had 10 plus pounds to lose at the time of my physical. Um, but in her standards, I was a healthy weight for my age and height and that kind of thing. But my cholesterol was high. Now, I want to tell you something. After I was done with HCG and I was in maintenance, and the first time I went to a physical after that in 2011, my cholesterol numbers were peak excellent. Excellent, like beyond excellent. And I attribute a lot of that based on not only my HCG journey working, but also the maintenance, and then also the knowledge you learn about high glycemic index, bad carbs, sugars, all the different things that basically aren't good for your body, whether you're trying to keep your weight down or just maintaining decent health. I attributed a lot of what I learned to those numbers, or those numbers to that. So when she said my cholesterol was high, I was like, okay. So then I thought, you know what? It could have been, even though the McNut fast, the fat is a good fat, maybe it threw off the numbers. So I fessed up to her that I did do a McNut fast for a couple days prior to the physical. So that could have been the culprit. So she said, okay, no worries. Let's just go ahead and we'll reschedule for a retest. But she didn't want to do it until it was basically a month out from the date of the last test. So I'm thinking, crap, because at this point I was pretty close to being done with my round, and I already had a plan of what I was going to be doing as far as my maintenance and all that. So I went ahead and I did finish my HCG round as far as what I had planned, because I wanted to be done with it by what was my reason for wanting to be done with it? Oh, I don't remember now. But anyway, I want to make sure that, whatever those last 3 days were of when you don't do the HCG, but you still have to eat clean before you start your next phase. I was doing all that. And then when she called me about the test, I was like thinking, crap, I'm going to have to I really want to dial back on what I'm eating. And then I looked back also, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to pinpoint the supplements she told me to take for helping lower cholesterol. And also, of course, I had to ditch the idea of doing the McNut fast just in case that was the culprit of throwing off the numbers. But then I also looked back on the pounds and inches protocol, and the doctor actually explains about the HCG throwing off the cholesterol numbers. That even though you're healthy, it will throw your cholesterol level higher, like it does, I guess, when you're pregnant, too. So I knew that possibly it was the HCG that did it. But either way, I thought, okay, I know I've got to have the HCG completely out of my system before the next test, which the next test was going to be on May 4th. So I also knew that I wanted to be, like I said, done. I knew I needed to be done with my round. So basically, I was done with my round. I knew I wanted to keep eating really super clean before the next test. So basically, what I did was while I was on HCG still, because I'm not hungry. Once I hit what I call my sweet spot, and this round actually 30 mLs was my sweet spot, which was really surprised because usually about 20-25 was used to be my level, and I used to always kind of base that on your weight. So I thought since my weight wasn't as high as when I used to start my journey in the past, that even less would be my sweet spot, but it wasn't. But once I found it, hunger was an issue. Of course, still we're humans, so of course, sometimes food smells will get to you. Just the sanctity of wanting to eat something for the taste. Of course, you want to, but as far as that horrible burning sensation of hunger, I had that for until the HCG leveled off correctly in my system, and then once it did, I was fine. So once I kind of got into that, and then because of knowing about the cholesterol, I didn't want anything going into my system that I thought could throw off the cholesterol numbers again. So I basically fasted for 21 days, and that also bared being off of the HCG for a certain amount of days as well. So when I went back for the test, I was no longer on HCG for a number of time, and I also had been fasting. So so basically, I got my weight back down. So basically, I started out at 146, and I had meant to keep my pencil, and then I started waving it around like a crazy person. So I started out at 146.3. My ending weight for the round was 124. Come on, paper, get here. See, you guys probably, I'm using the same journal, and that actually proves that I was being that ostrich in the sand and not weighing every day like I should have, because I should be totally onto a new journal by now, obviously. So, and what I have to do too is I have to actually calculate my inch loss for the round after the vlog, and then just post that on either the pre-roll or the post-roll. So because I lost a lot of inches, because one thing about abnormal fat is a lot of the abnormal fat is when you have that really gross belly fat that you feel like you're really bloated looking all the time, and that's what I was dealing with, and I hated. And I'm telling you, HCG, man, takes that away. It does it in a very good situationally way. All right, so where is it? I'm almost here. 124.88. That was my ending time. And that was 124.8. That hit on, I should actually back to, I'm sorry, I should go back to when my no HCG was. So when I went to no HCG, I was at I basically lost like almost like exactly 20 pounds. And then because of the additional fasting, I went down to 124.8. So now I'm like hovering in that range. And like I said, today is May 16th. So I'm in that, give or take range. So anywhoozy, and some of you may say, well, if you fasted for that many days, you'd have lost that much anyway, HCG or not. Not the same way, because you would have lost a lot of muscle with that. And with this, I'm able to exercise every day. And I know if you're new to the protocol and if you're doing anything that's staunch on protocol, you're thinking, well, it tells you not to work out. But if whatever your body is still already used to doing, it's okay to do. It's when you're suddenly trying to do a bunch of stuff that your body didn't do prior to the protocol. But I still treadmill twice a day, because this stuff really definitely does target the crappy fat that no one needs and wants on their body. It will get you into the sizes and in the weight numbers that you don't think you will ever have imagined. As far as falling back on it every little time, I really think, I know myself personally, this is where I just don't want to judge other people, but me personally, I knew I didn't want to be doing it unless I knew I did have abnormal fat on my body. I wasn't going to do it just for the sake of a few pounds going up. It had to be because there was abnormal fat going on, and that was what was going on. So, sorry if I end up being really repetitive, and when I do go to edit this, if there's stuff I feel like I can kind of pull out so I'm not boring everybody, I'll try to do that. And if I end up being able to do more vlogs again, I'll try to also incorporate my chihuahuas that I do have still, and that are fun little family members. And gosh, thank you to the people that do vlog that I've been kind of like trolling, watching, and you guys didn't even realize it while I was on my round. I did actually comment on a couple of people's stuff, and but I just wasn't ready to show my aging face. But here it is. I'm trying so hard to maintain, and I'm not saying hard as far as the weight maintain. I mean, everything when it comes to maintenance on everything, uh, whether it be trying to keep your skin in good condition, your weight in good check, your health in good check. You know, it's gonna be, I don't want to say hard, but it's a commitment. Everything is a commitment. This thing is making me crackers. Um, so you just have to understand that there's going to be commitment. And like when the doctor said I was being too hard on myself, there's they're so used to the people that just basically just want to get by. Like if they had, like say, like if they had high cholesterol, instead of saying, "Okay, tell me what I can do. What can I naturally take to fix this? What can I naturally do to help remedy this?" Think about how many people they have sit in their office and just say, "Okay, prescribe me something. What am I going to take now as far as a medication to fix this?" You know, and that's what they do. They don't try to think outside of the box. I try to think outside of the box, and so that's why I do what I do, and that's why I feel like the successes that I have been there, and that's also why I think when I have flubbed up and I've gone outside of keeping the right rules in check, that I've put myself backed myself into a corner, and but thankfully there are remedies like the protocol and following pounds and inches that help you get, find that path out of that corner, and going back to thinking outside the box. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you that are on this journey right now and respect what you're doing. And if I'm so ancient that no one ever even sees this, okay. But if I am being seen and I am helping, I am glad to be able to do it. And I am grateful that you're watching. And I am grateful for all those that I have watched and have helped me. And I guess that's it for now. I'll just, like I said, I'll try to make sure to step aside and calculate my numbers so you can find out how many inches I lost. Like I said, I was very pleased that it was a lot. And as my husband put it, as when we went out this afternoon, when I got to wear my jeans, he's like, "Oh, honey," I don't know if he said honey or babe or whatever. He goes, "But you're rocking it." So, I guess in his eyes, I'm back on track, and it feels good to feel good in my clothes again. And I think every single lady out there, and man too, that have been in clothes that they have liked to wear that maybe aren't comfortable right now, or haven't been comfortable and now are. You know that feeling. You know when you've kind of arrived back to where you want to be, and it feels good, and you like it. And you guys have all probably shut me off by now because I'm rambling on. But all right, that's it. I'm done. Thank you so much. Bless. Talk to you later. Or as Charles Trippy says, Toros. Today's May 16th, 2015, and golly, I don't know. I don't think I've done a vlog since, is it true? I haven't done a vlog since 2012? Okay. Anyway, so these are the same pants I'm pretty sure I wore the last time I did my update of maintenance, but there's still story behind all that. So anyway, so there's this. Let's see, pull my shirt so you can see this. I think I always go like this too, right? Like this. Um, make sure my feet are together so you can see this, and then I'll go ahead and go apart. Just trying to go from all angles. I know if I was on starting, I'd like to see all the angles of someone that's done the program. So